Hello, Tom. Good morning.
How are you doing? Ready to go?
Yeah, of
Good
course.
weekend?
We can start. Yeah, it was a very great weekend and a very nice meeting on Thursday in Warsaw, in
Yes.
Elektrownia Powiśla.
Yeah, the event behind me was done and dusted, and we had a great turnout, both physically in Warsaw and also online, of course, via Hop-In with a lot of US guys joining us. So thanks again. We're pleased with it. And now we're off to Texas on September 21st as our next event for the US market. More on that as the days pass. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go straight to the news. 21 June, we got a busy morning. So let's go straight to the first story.
11 venture capitals to analyze round T startup ideas. The Techno Talent Foundation has extended the deadline for submitting entries to this year's round T. The competition is aimed at entrepreneurs, startups, scientists, pupils, students, and all creators who want to find an investor for their idea.
Great. More startup funding, more startup contests. Good for Poland, good for the region. Next story.
Chips shortage means Volkswagen factories in Poland shut down for days. From 23rd to 25th June, Polish Volkswagen plants in Września and Poznań will suspend their work. As agreed by the trade unions, workers will be fully paid for this period. The company adjusts its production plans to the current situation in the semiconductor market.
Yeah, and this is a pretty big deal, but this is also a global thing going on. You've got shortages in semiconductor chips, but to shut down the VW factory is a pretty big deal when you have huge demand for new cars. Anyway, this is something we're seeing globally. The semiconductor shortages are affecting lots of production companies. Globally, we'll see some more of it. Hopefully, it won't be for too long, but we shall see. Okay, next story. Another buyout of a private equity company. Yeah.
Yeah, Avallon PE, tweeks portfolio, sells Zaberda in management buyout. BGK and PKO Bank back buyout of Zaberda, a company specializing in road maintenance.
Yeah, so Avallon, which has been on the market, I think, for about 25 years, big private equity, or let's say medium-sized private equity group, have sold their Zaberda back to its original founder, the CEO, who used buyout financing, debt financing from PKO and BGK to buy back the company. They're doing very, very well, very busy. No surprise, road maintenance up, but interesting tweak for Avallon. Next story. Okay.
Kruk steps up investment in Italy with UniCredit 1.4 billion zlotys receivables purchase. Kruk Investimenti, an Italian subsidiary of Kruka, concluded agreements with UniCredit for the purchase of debt portfolios from unsecured consumer loans with a total nominal value of up to 304,000 million euros.
Yeah, so Kruk, of course, has built up its business, I think, out of Wroclaw originally. I think they're from Wroclaw over the years and have done very, very well. They're listed on the Warsaw Stock Exchange. I haven't checked their price lately, but here they are going into Italy. So have done very well in their home market, but a big move into Italy, big deal for them. So we'll see how that goes. Very interesting to see how they expand into the Italian market. We'll watch it and come back to it. Okay, next story. Next story, I'll tell you more about it later.
Okay, Latvian Printful to open in Łódź, investing 7 million zlotys. Latvian company Printful will open a cut and sew center in Łódź and intends to invest 7 million zlotys, said the Polish Investment and Trade Agency. The company plans to start operations in Poland at the end of 2021 and employ 50 people in the first year, ultimately 170 employees.
Well, Printful is a great business model out of Latvia. A young guy started this business years ago, and they were presenting at our event on Thursday. So they have a huge expansion to the US market, doing super well. They're doing about $200 million, 200 million euros in revenue, and they have become the first Latvian unicorn as of last week with a new increase of capital. So now they're worth over 1 billion euros. Big deal. Good luck to those guys. We'll see they're expanding globally. Interesting business model and a wonderful business expansion. Okay, next story.
Forestlight Games IPO to raise 3 million zlotys to market proprietary games. Free brokerages supporting young gaming company with most anticipated title coming soon. Pope, Power and Sin.
That sounds interesting. Okay, Pope, Power and Sin, the new game coming. So yeah, well, you got to makes you want to look into that more, see what it's all about. So these guys, of course, are another gaming company on the Warsaw Stock Exchange. They're, excuse me, not Warsaw Stock Exchange, but just getting started. They probably have aspirations to be there, but they've got 3 brokerages who have done the listing, raising the capital. I'm very interested to see how they roll out. Again, hot sector, on fire. Warsaw Stock Exchange doing very well, providing capital to these young, ambitious gaming companies. Okay, next story.
UK's Fetch.ai partners with PSNC to apply AI and blockchain to cancer cell detection. Fetch.ai, a Cambridge-based artificial intelligence lab building an open access decentralized machine learning network for smart infrastructure, announced that Poland's Poznań Supercomputing and Networking Center will be joining its collective learning initiative to help hospitals and research centers worldwide.
Yeah, another interesting story, applying blockchain, AI to medicine, to medical, to pharma space. That's going to be the kind of the story we're going to talk about for the next year or two. AI, machine learning, blockchain, real relevance, real applications, real efficient for businesses. We'll see how that develops, but good to see the UK-based Fetch coming into Poland with a partnership, quasi-university partnership. We'll see how that develops. Next story, Magda.
PPG expands coatings manufacturing in Poland. PPG, based in Pennsylvania, said that the investments at sites in the Netherlands and Poland will support growing customer demand for the latest generation of coatings for aluminum and steel cans, which are used in packaging for beverages, food, and personal care items.
If I had not been at our own event on Thursday, I would have no comment about this, but having watched the Can Pack presentation, and they are doing the packaging of aluminum cans and steel cans and growing really, really fast, particularly in the so-called seltzer cans. And they've benefited from the COVID crisis when everyone stayed home and ate and had canned foods. So interesting to see how these guys are expanding their coatings for aluminum cans. Interesting story. Their expansion is in Poland and the Netherlands, expanding existing plants in Poland. Okay, next story.
CCC accelerates rollout of HalfPrice chain. CCC plans that by the end of the year, its HalfPrice chain in Poland and Europe will have 65 stores. In the first month of operation of the HalfPrice chain in Poland, it was visited by over 500,000 people. 5 salons will be open outside Poland, including Hungary, Austria, Czech Republic, and Slovakia.
Magda, I think we need to have a new tradition in this everyday broadcast to say, what's your favorite story? This is my favorite story for the day.
Okay.
Because I think CCC, great management. They have launched this new project, HalfPrice. It's going very well. And, fortune favors the brave. They are rolling out extremely fast. They have the infrastructure in place. They do a test of a project. It's working, big growth, 500,000 people in the first month in Poland. Unbelievable. Wow. So they're rolling the thing out very fast, not waiting for competition to catch them. My favorite story for the day. Okay, you're up next. Next story.
Startup Ubrania do Oddania raises 1.5 million zlotys. Private investors from the fashion industry and leaders of sustainable development are backing close to donate with 1.5 million zlotys in the pre-seed round.
Yeah, interesting. They're getting competitive.
That's also interesting story.
Yeah, exactly. A competitive space. We had a story about this, of course, Vinted. I think Latvian or Lithuanian coming out of also doing kind of roll up in the secondhand shops all over Europe. So a lot of space in that area, a lot of growth in that area. So we'll see how it develops. Okay, next story, Magda.
Medicofarma Biotech takes over NewConnect company, aims for main market listing. Medicofarma Biotech, a biotechnology company, has published an update of its strategy for 2021 to 2023. The company aims to successfully complete at least the second phase of clinical trials of 2 innovative cancer drugs.
And while I won't comment much on their business model, the medtech, biotech, because I don't really know that space very well, I do think their strategy is significant and interesting that they've taken over a listed NewConnect. So it's not going to have a reverse listing into a listed company. Very good way to get liquidity for its shareholders, very good way to access further capital. So a nice technique to see this reverse takeover of a NewConnect company, and then aspirations to list on the main market in Warsaw. Nice move. Next story.
Infor to hire another 110 people at Center of Excellence in Wrocław. A large part of the company's new post-COVID investments in products are located in Wrocław. Therefore, CoE is growing. Over the next 12 months. Another 110 high-class specialists will join the company's 340 employees.
So look, just do the basic numbers. That's big growth of numbers. That's almost 30% growth in employees in this particular year. So they're growing very fast. Once again, IT, technology, SSE, Center of Excellence. Hey, Wrocław in the news again. Good for Wrocław. Okay, next story.
Polish and Italian merge to create payments powerhouse. Nets, owner of Polskie e-Płatności, concluded a binding merger agreement with Nexi, the Italian payment leader. After the merger, the company will be one of the leaders in its market and one of the largest entities in the industry.
Yeah, great consolidation in the payments business. No comments more. Next story. Last story, an interesting one.
Modlin Airport desperate for state aid as private buyer Egis circles. The state-owned company PPL owns 28%, Mazowieckie province owns 36%, and military property agency owns 32%. In 2022, only 800,000 people used the airport, and this year it is expected to be around 1.1 million.
I find this story interesting because here we have Egis, which is a big airport operator, private company, like a vulture circling around this Modlin airport, which of course, like all airports, has been hit very hard in the last year with COVID. But they were suffering before, not doing particularly well. Why? Well, look at the ownership. State-owned PPL, the state government owned 90% of it. Come on, states don't run things very well. And here we have Egis will come in. They'll make it work, but I think what the airport is doing is saying, getting themselves ready to say, Egis is coming in. We're going to take a big write-off, big losses, including a lot of EU money, and getting ready to say, let the private guys come in, and the government's going to shift its focus to the Polish central airport near Łódź, big one. So we'll see how that goes. But hey, here's a big loss on a totally government-funded airport. And now Egis comes in, big losses for the Polish government. Stop doing it. Government problems the government doesn't fix many problems. Okay, we're done for the day, Magda. What else we got today? That's it for the day, right?
Yeah, we will see each other tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning. Okay, have a great day. Talk to you then. Bye.
Same to you. Bye.